Hello, happy Medical Monday. I have Dr. Nancy Yen Shipley here, orthopedist from Nancy MD. We had some technical difficulties this morning with our live, but we persevered and we are here on our Zoom call. We're going to record and put it on for all of you guys. So thank you for watching and welcome, Dr. Nancy.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So I am hiding in my backyard from my children because they're just waking up for the day, and I just finished a night shift. And I thought they might be awake and I could go somewhere inside, but instead I'm up here with my dog and my puffy jacket. So it is fall here in Idaho.
That's all right. Very all natural.
So Medical Mondays, I love doing Medical Mondays because I really like to try to learn what all of my fellow docs are doing. And I really strongly feel that the better education we do to each other about what we do, and we break down those walls in between us and medicine and educate our patients, I think we're going to be on a better path to fixing this healthcare system of ours. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so you are a blogger and you love to educate as much as I do. So tell me a little bit about your story. What's up with Nancy MD? What's your why?
So I created Nancy MD after I had an experience about a year ago. I was plugging along in clinical practice and I love my work as an orthopedic surgeon. I specialize in sports medicine and arthroscopy. But I didn't realize that something was missing until I was asked by my hospital system to do this thing called Ortho Watch. So basically they got high school students from around the region, and these are students that had an interest in healthcare and going into medicine. And they had me actually live broadcast an ACL surgery with a real patient. I did a presentation in the auditorium downstairs from the OR in the morning before the surgery to tell the students a little bit more about what I was going to do. And then they mic'd me up like Madonna,
Awesome.
Which was really fun. And I got to do my usual surgery, and I got to field questions from the audience. While I was operating, they got to see what I was doing, and I got to talk through the surgery as I was going. And then after the surgery, I went back down to the auditorium to finish the presentation in person and do a Q&A. And I just realized how much that sparked something inside of me, and realized that was kind of what was missing. I learned that I really enjoyed teaching to people who maybe are either not in medicine or not yet in medicine. And with the feedback that I got from that presentation, I just realized how much of an impact one can make.
Yeah.
So I decided to launch the Nancy MD brand, so to say, with an online platform. I started to blog because I learned that was just a good way to reach a much broader audience.
Yeah, awesome. So tell us a little bit, what's the problem you're trying to fix with Nancy MD, and why do you think it's effective?
I think it's really important for people to see role models that are just living a little bit outside of the box, or maybe just don't look like what your typical orthopedic surgeon is. I came into medicine with a non-traditional route. It was actually a second career. So I started medical school at, I think, 28 or 29. So I actually worked for 6 years prior and had kind of an interesting path. I don't think maturity-wise I was ready to go straight out of college.
Yeah.
So it was good that I had these other life experiences, and when I was ready to finally tackle medical school and do well in the prereqs that were required to get into medical school, I had full focus at that point.
Yeah.
And I had the right reasons for going to medical school at that point. And so, I think to further answer your question as far as just, what's the problem and what's my why, I want to fill that gap. I think had I maybe had a role model earlier, it would have pushed me a little bit more. I don't regret the route that I took, but I don't think I had that looking back. And so just having gone through that Ortho Watch experience and making an impact on younger individuals made me realize that this platform that I'm creating is important. I think that I want to reach more people, and I want to influence women, people of color, people who just maybe are taking a more non-traditional route to medicine, to encourage them to chase their dreams, and that it's okay if you're a little bit late to the game. You're not too old, or you're not too whatever adjective you want to put in there.
Great. Yeah, that's great. So, so I'm really excited to hear you talk about your top 3 things that you think we all need to know to stay adventurous, confident, and injury-free. And it's not just as you age. I'm sure these are important for everybody. But this is my year of 40, and so I'm all about how to stay anything while I age, whether it's skin or wellness or food or whatever it is. So give me number 1.
Well, I think from an orthopedist perspective, one of the top things I find myself telling patients all the time is slow down. It's amazing the number of injuries that I see when people are just in a hurry. You're in a rush to get out the door, and you miss that last step and sustain a fracture. And so I actually like to tell people to slow down. It doesn't mean slow down to a complete halt on the couch, because you want to get up and be fit and be active. But, it's just that taking the time to be aware of what you're doing, and just being mindful.
Yeah, I love that. We need to do that in everything.
Yeah,
we need to do that in everything. And often you find yourself walking around, even just holding your phone, not being aware, much less hurrying through your daily activities. So that's great.
Yeah, for sure. So, that's number 1. I would say number 2 is to listen to your body. And I like to say I'm comfortably in my 40s. And it was kind of around that time that I got into my late 30s, early 40s, that I realized that I really needed to listen to my body. And you kind of learn, whether if you're working out or you're doing something, you kind of got to learn what is normal soreness and what is something that you should probably back off on. I've always been very active, and I'm always snowboarding, paddleboarding, doing high intensity workouts. And in the last couple of years, I've realized that it's been really important to just kind of listen and sort of along the same lines of the whole slow down concept. Slow down, listen to your body, and try to hear what your body's telling you.
And that takes some practice.
And number 3. For sure.
To do that though, because it's, I as well, I'm very active. I was a downhill ski racer through college. So I ski all the time. I run, I lift. I love to be, that's somebody calling me right now. I love all of that. But the thing is that you do have to know what your body feels like, and you have to know when something is a little bit off, that you need to stop pushing through it, because that is something that I always did when I was younger, and now just realizing it's not worth it,
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Number 3.
And, I think number 3, I'll say cross training. It's really easy when you decide to take up a fitness regimen to say, okay, I'm going to get fit. And a lot of times people say, all right, well, I'm just going to go out and go run. Well, first of all, running isn't always the best for everybody, but when we're getting back into fitness, we tend to overdo it, and we tend to overdo it in one thing. And people tend to turn to cardio and forget about the strength training, and forget about the flexibility and the mind body. That's a piece that's often ignored. And so I always remind people to remember those 4 pillars, I like to say. The cardio, the strength, the flexibility, and the mind-body part of it. And that's important for a well-rounded fitness program, and just kind of, staying confident, staying strong as we age.
Yeah, I heard two really good points in there. One is the starting slow, because it is easy to set that big goal and just go for it, but you're more likely to succeed if you do little things and kind of add on to them as you go. And all successes breed off of success, right? The second thing I heard is
That's
that,
right.
that like the cross training that I think about, it's like we do so much like motion like this in our life, and like figuring out how to build in like lateral motions and twisting motions and anything that uses kind of any other direction is going to improve that, not just agility but flexibility, and you know, and kind of strengthen the rest of us.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so great. So tell us where we can find you online and on social media so that we can follow along and subscribe and keep getting these great tips from you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm on the web. My blog is nancyyenshipley.com.
Perfect.
And that's a mouthful, I know, but nancyyenshipley.md.com. I'm also very active on Instagram, and my handle on Instagram is @_NancyMD. I am similarly on Twitter, same handle,
Perfect.
_NancyMD, and I am on Facebook @NancyMDPDX.
Perfect. So I am going to get this recorded. I'm going to get it up on Facebook so that we can retract our promise, our failure on our promise live. And when that happens, if you could get onto the comments and drop the information in so that people can easily follow you, that would be awesome. And any other resources that you have, things that you think are important for people to know, definitely drop in there as well. And then share away so people can hear about you.
Will do. Thank
Great.
you so much.
Have a great Medical Monday. Take care.
Bye.